This is a man who smokes Marlboro cigarettes. What kind of a man is he?
Welcome to the premium life.
Grass-fed beef.
New Slim Jim Premium Smoked Sticks.
Premium pork.
New Slim Jim Premium Smoked Sticks.
Premium.
Hey, glad you could make it. I'm gonna warn you up front, I stink, like way worse than normal. So you might wanna take maybe 2 steps back, have a seat, try and get through this. I'm drinking beer, I'll show that before I forget. This is the 2019 Oktoberfest from Sierra Nevada. It's a collaboration with Bitburger Brewery. Anyway, it's not bad, actually. I think I've already said this before, but I went to grade school. I lived in Munich, Germany. That's where I went to grade school. So I've been to Oktoberfest, I don't know, 5 times or something. That's where I, as a child, developed a taste for, beer. This time I'm going to show some records. There's one new record, the shoegaze indie rock variety, and then a lot of recent spins in the indie pop vein, I guess, which I know is not necessarily crowd pleasing. That's, yeah, so I had more. I decided it was going to be too long of a video, and instead of make one really long video and split it, I'm making 2 videos. I don't know if I'm going to make the second video right after this, or probably not, but sometime. I do have to go to defensive driving school because it's been determined that I'm a menace to society because I got caught by a camera going through a red light. So that's 4 hours of my life down the tubes and hundreds of dollars. I think I mentioned that before. I'm not very happy about it. I'm fuming about that. I got 2 things I want to talk about before we go to the records. One is a question, does anybody have any idea on where I can get a poster tube that's about 40 inches long and 1 inch to 2 inches in diameter? If somebody has a line on something like that where I can buy one, when I find these, I've done, take a step back. I'm trying to send Jay Vinyl in the Van a Nirvana poster, but it's big. And I thought I would just be able to go to a store like Staples or Office, whatever, and buy a poster tube. And that has turned out to not be the case, not in that size. So I wound up ordering one from Amazon, and I got it this week. It is gigantic. I couldn't. It's definitely not the size that it was advertised as. I don't know. It's it's enormous. So that's not going to work. So if you have any tips, or if you have one, 40 inches long, 42 inches long, and 1 inch or 2 in diameter, let me know. One other thing, if you had a ton of 45s that you did not want, I need to have a sip of beer here. What will you do with them? I have one of these things that is full of 45s that I don't want. This is a really nice case. I want to get rid of the crap that's inside of here so I can use it for stuff that I like. But maybe about almost 20 years ago, I got a box that was being thrown out by like a classic country AM radio station, and it was all these 45s. And before I moved across the country, I did get rid of a bunch of them, but a lot of them, either like if you take it to a store, they don't want them. So these are not only are these bad 45s, but they've been picked through. These are the ones that nobody would take. And I've thought about putting them like as a lot on eBay, because I'm not going to sell these one at like 75 cents. I'm not selling stuff like that. And I thought about bringing them to Goodwill. But they just seem too, even though I don't like them or don't want them, it just seems too interesting of things to just drop off at Goodwill or at a thrift store. You know, it's like, it's really not, some people probably like this. It's really just not something I'm interested in. You got George Strait, white label promo, like double A side. This is even on yellow vinyl. More George Strait. More George Strait. More George Strait. It's just not music that I listen to. Tanya Tucker, Call on Me, white label promo. More Tanya Tucker. This is the first time I'm looking at these in a long time. Conway Twitty. More Conway Twitty. More Conway Twitty. I must have at some point looked at these, and Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn. Lovin' What Your Lovin' Does. This is 1981. You know, and they're all like white label promos, or man, loads of Conway Twitty. Ricky Van Shelton. Does that do anything for you? I think, you know, the right country fan, I don't know how many are here. 100 maybe I have left. It just goes on and on. Shenandoah. There are some like indie, like independent type rock type releases from like the 80s. This is somebody called Frederick Bullard on Encore Records. I mean, I don't. I think I should just bring him to Goodwill. I don't think I can do that. Jesus DeMilo, Eighth Root Army. Like, I think that's like a rock thing. Train kept a rolling. The classic rock track. Zimbo Chimps on Budget Ranch Records out of Pomona, California. The Great Scouts. Anyway, I've already talked too much about these. It just seems like a shame to just bring that to Goodwill. I gotta move these. So I'll move them up here. Anyway, I realize that we've just spent way too much time on that. Picked over 45s that I don't want. I'm kind of trying to, over the years, I have found a lot of records that are in the process of being thrown into the dump. Where I lived in Minneapolis, at one point I found I think it was 200 to 300 records leaning up against the dumpster, like right behind the building that I lived in, like the brownstone building in near downtown Minneapolis. And I took them all. We're talking like yacht rock and disco. Yacht rock stuff was in really, really nice shape, but I can't be hauling that stuff across the country. So probably 90% of it I sold at some point. I probably in hindsight should have kept it, because that was from a while ago, but anyway. I'm going to show some records now. first one is new 2019 release. I think this is just from this month. And these people are actually playing in Phoenix tomorrow, and I dropped the ball. Sold out. Also, Swerve Driver is playing tonight, and I didn't even notice it until like an hour ago. I don't know what I'm asleep at the wheel over here. That's probably why I need to go to defensive driving school. So this is the third LP from this band, and they're called Dive, but it's spelled D-I-I-V. It's called Deceiver. Third LP, this shoegaze, indie rock. You hear the guitar sound of bands like Sonic Youth, My Bloody Valentine. They're obviously big 90s fans. It's quite good overall. I've seen a couple places people make reference to Elliott Smith, which I was not hearing, but I can see where they're coming from, I guess, with the vocals. This is in the shrink, has like a fake Obi thing and a poster with like words on the back, lyrics. I'll try and put a sample to a song. It's good. I like this a lot better. This is probably not agreeing with many people, but I like this better. Of their three records, I like this one the most. It's louder. I like that. I like the guitar sound. And it's worth checking out if you're a 90s, if you like 90s band, if you like Sonic Youth, if you like shoegaze. It's not all shoegaze, but there are definitely a lot of shoegaze influences, and there's several spots where it really sounds like it has the My Bloody Valentine guitar sound. I think it was co-produced by someone who worked with 9 Inch Nails and some other people. I will say, for some reason, the name being spelled like this, they originally were Dive, D-I-V, spelled right, and then they switched it out of respect for some other band that was named Dive before them. And it really bugs me. And I was trying to, I did this really last second, but I was trying to think of other bands where it doesn't bother me as much. Like, for some reason, Always, spelled A-L-V-V-A-Y-S, for some reason that doesn't bug me in the same way that Dive. I think anyway. Let's Dive. The album is called Deceiver. Next up, I've got this is a 2018 release by the Spanish label that I like, Elephant Records, Elefant. This is called The Last Detail. This is like a project of Mehdi Zanad, who was in the band you may know well, I don't know if it's a band necessarily, or I think it technically is a band, but it's mostly just him, called Fugu, F-U-G-U, which is like the poisonous, I think it's poisonous fish that people eat in Japan. Like needs to be prepared a certain way or it's deadly. And it's also Erin Moran. Is Erin Moran the person from Happy Days? There's another, like an actress named Erin Moran. But this person, Erin Moran, is from a girl called Eddie that you may know her from. So they kind of came together to collaborate on this record. Fugu, that band, is more like orchestral, chamber pop, indie pop, twee. And a girl called Eddie is more like soul pop. So on this record, you get some convergence of those styles, but there is like songs that are clearly more in one camp or the other. And when I first heard this, I might have shown this earlier this year when I got this, maybe. But when I first listened to this, I kind of wanted more of the chamber pop, I wanted more of the Fugu side. I like her vocals, but I wanted more of that style. But now I'm thinking that what makes the record good as a whole is that the change in style from song to song somewhat. It's not like it's all over the place, but like if you've ever heard a Fugu record, maybe I'll play Fugu. I only have that Fugu CD. Maybe I'll play that in the second video that I make, whenever that is, next week or whenever. That's very like falsetto vocals and big arrangements. That one has Letitia from Stereolab on there. I don't know if people know that very well. I don't know if it was very popular, even among people that like that stuff. But anyway, the last detail. This is what the inner sleeve looks like. I may have already shown this. And the vinyl is only on white vinyl. I think that's the only way you can get it. I'm not sure, like, is white vinyl the opposite of black vinyl, or is clear vinyl the opposite of black vinyl? That's the third question I have for you today. The first question, where can I get a poster tube? The second, should I bring these crappy 45s to Goodwill? And the third, is white the opposite of black? I think that probably is. Or is clear the opposite of black?
Your kiss is sweet, I feel so weak. I try to hide from your side. Just for a while, give me a smile so clear and new, so I can see the child in you. Oh, don't worry now.
Life is cruel. Wish I was making the rules. Wish that I could put those happy times in little cans and keep them near and close at time. All of those moments, they shouldn't go away. So I'll be constantly happy. Even the failures could last another day. It's everything that I'm missing. Forever, I need them to make it better. I love them all. Whatever, I wish they would leave me never.
So I can't believe how long this is running. I'm just gonna I'm gonna move it along. Listen to this out of the collection. This is Stephen Maltmus and the Chicks. Wig Out at Jag Bags. This is from 2014. This is his sixth album under this name, Stephen Maltmus and the Jicks. It's a solid overall outing. It's a bit all over it gets a little bit all over the place at times, but there's still the sharp lyrics and great playing. Yeah, people know Stephen Maltmus, Pavement. Like an insert that came with it. This is blocked in Australia. So for the two people in Australia, I'm not going to play a sample. You can find Stephen Maltmus. Fairly nice looking black vinyl, I would say. Next, so I showed something by Sunshine, which I received kind of as like we'll call it VCLT, and I also my friend ordered it from the artist, and this also came as well that I don't think that I showed. So it's the same guy but under the name Bill Baird. So Sunshine, am I thinking of that? Sunshine, yeah. And this is Bill Baird. So this is incredibly the 13th release under the name Bill Baird. He has a bunch of others as Sunshine and a bunch of other stuff as well. Mentioned before, originally he's from Austin, Texas, and now I believe is in the Bay Area. This is kind of light indie psych pop, really catchy, really good record actually. This is 2018. It's on Super Deluxe, made in Europe. Might be able to put some sort of sample. This is the inner sleeve. And it's on just ravishing black vinyl. Like, when you get a really beautiful piece of black vinyl in your hands, something. Last one I'm going to show you this week. This came as anonymous VCLT, and this is the last thing I thought I'd shown this, but I don't think that I have. This is Allo Darlin'. We Come From the Same Place. This is their third LP. I think they were based in London at the time. Maybe, I might be wrong. Lyrics on the inner sleeve and sort of photo. This is their last LP. I think they broke up. 2014. This is on Slumberland Records. So US version. I think it's maybe a different label in Fortuna Pop in Europe. So this is like well played indie pop, good lyrics. Does get a bit cute or twee at times, but I don't have a problem with that clearly. Yeah, this is a good record. I have not listened to the first two. The fact this was given to me as VCLT makes me think that that this one was a disappointment to that individual. So I guess I would be interested in hearing those first two records at some point. And it's on this color, kind of a baby blue with whatever you want to call it.
When I watched you get undressed, that was my Achilles heel. And then you took my cigarettes, girl, what else will you steal?
Do yourself a favor, start before you tear yourself apart. Recent events make this heart unwind, and I'm aware nothing which, but I'm predisposed to your kiss. When I'm with you, I leave the dark behind. Do you believe in fun?
I surely do.
Do you believe in love?
I do if you ask me to. I feel better hanging out with you.
So thanks for indulging me. This went way, way, way too long, I think. Luckily, yeah, whatever. Do a meat stick. I usually go with like a premium meat stick when I know I'm gonna have company, so that you guys, you know, have something nice to nibble on. I assume that I'll be back with the other records I was going to show in this video, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Feel free to hang out, or you know, don't forget your shoes on the way out the door. Take care.